Advancing storage and information technology. Common RAID disk data format specification. Table of contents. Introduction, overview, purpose, design considerations, location, locality, DDF structure size, DDF structure content, DDF structure redundancy, definitions, RAID terms, virtual disk, basic virtual disk, secondary virtual disk, disk grouping, foreign configuration, legacy or pass-through disk, RAID levels and RAID level qualifiers, primary RAID level qualifier, RAID 0, simple stripping, PRL is 00, RLQ is 00. RAID 1, simple mirroring, PRL is 01, RLQ is 00. RAID 1, multi-mirroring, PRL is 01, RLQ is 01. RAID 3, non-rotating parity 0, PRL 03, RLQ 00. RAID 3, non-rotating parity, N, PRL 03, RLQ 01. RAID 4, non-rotating parity 0, PRL 04, RLQ 00. RAID 4, non-rotating parity, N, PRL 04, RLQ 01. RAID 5, rotating parity 0 with data restart, PRL 05, RLQ 00. RAID 5, rotating parity N with data restart, PRL 05, RLQ 02. RAID 5, rotating parity N with data continuation, PRL 05, RLQ 03. RAID 5E, rotating parity 0 with data restart, PRL is 15, RLQ is 00. RAID 5E, rotating parity N with data restart, PRL 15, RLQ 02. RAID 5E, rotating parity N with data continuation, PRL 15, RLQ 03. RAID 5EE, rotating parity 0 with data restart, PRL 25, RLQ 00. RAID 5EE, rotating parity N with data restart, PRL 25, RLQ 02. RAID 5EE, rotating parity N with data continuation, PRL 25, RLQ 03. RAID 5R, rotating parity 0 after R stripes with data restart, PRL 25, RLQ 50. RAID 5R, rotating parity N after R stripes with data restart, PRL 35, RLQ 53. RAID 5R, rotating parity N after stripes with data continuation, PRL 35, RLQ 03. RAID 1E, integrated adjacent stripe mirroring, RAID 1E, integrated offset stripe mirroring, RAID 6, rotating parity 0 with data restart, parity recomputation on block update, Galois, field operations, RAID 6, rotating parity N with data restart, parity recomputation on block update, Galois, field operations, RAID 6, rotating parity N with data continuation, parity recomputation on block update, Galois, field operations, multi-disk failure rate, rotating parity 0 with data restart, Galois, field generation, constant matrix generation, Galois, parity computation, multi-disk failure rate, rotating party N with data restart, multi-disk failure rate, rotating party N with data continuation, secondary RAID level, swapped secondary RAID level SRL 00, mirrored secondary RAID level, concatenated secondary RAID level, span secondary RAID level, DDF structure. DDF structure overview, byte ordering, signatures, timestamps, and CRSCs, guides, GUIDs, controller GUID, physical disk GUID, virtual disk GUID, DDF header GUID, DDF header controller data, physical disk records, physical disk entries, virtual disk records, virtual disk entries, configuration records, virtual disk configuration record, vendor unique configuration record, spare assignment record, spare assignment entry, spare types and spare assignment entry details. For committable dedicated spares, spare type bit 1 is 0. Once the disk joins a VD, it becomes a permanent member of the VD, and a spare assignment record on the spare associated with the VD must be deleted. Physical disk data 1, 2, 3. Bad block management log. Mapped marked block entry. Diagnostic space. Vendor specific logs. Point 1. Introduction. In today's IT environment, there are several reasons why system administrators would wish to change the internal RAID solutions they are using. For example, many servers are shipped with the RAID solution implemented on the motherboard ROMB. ROMB solutions allow RAID formats to be applied to the disks internal to the server. As the server data set grows, the administrator often finds he needs to move to a larger direct attached storage (DAS) solution with external GBODs. The system administrator would like to move the internal disks and their data to the DAS system's external GBODs. One method of migration is to back up a RAID group, transfer the disks to a new storage system, reconfigure the disks as a new RAID group behind the new RAID controller, and restore the data from the backup device. This time-consuming procedure also carries some risk of data loss. A better method would be to move the disks with data in place from one RAID implementation to another. Unfortunately, the different methods for storing configuration information prohibit data in place migration between systems from different storage vendors. The SNIA, Common RAID Disk Data Format Technical Working Group, was charted to define a standard data structure describing how data is formatted across disks in the RAID group. This specification defines the common RAID disk data format (DDF) structure. The DDF structure allows a basic level of interoperability between different suppliers of RAID technology. The common RAID DDF structure benefits storage users by enabling data in place migration among systems from different vendors. Part of the specification defines how data is distributed for many basic RAID levels. This is necessary to precisely document how data is formatted for RAID levels indicated by the DDF structure. The DDF-TWG recognizes that the formats described do not represent all methods for implementing the defined RAID levels. The SNIA does not apply that specification formats represent a preferred RAID implementation. Reviewers of this specification are encouraged to suggest alternate RAID level formats for inclusion into future revisions of this specification. The DDF's data structure also allows RAID groups with vendor-unique RAID formats, while vendor-unique RAID formats prohibit data-in-place migration between vendors. The common RAID DDF will be a benefit in these situations. At the minimum, when the RAID group containing a unique format is moved to a different RAID solution that does not support the format, the new system will still be able to read the DDF structure. It can identify the RAID groups containing the unique format and notify the system administrator that these RAID groups contain valid data that is not accessible by the current storage system. Potential data loss is prevented because the new RAID system will not overwrite the data without administration confirmation. The document is divided into the following sections. Section 2 is the overview. Section 3 describes the definitions used in this specification. Section 4 describes the RAID levels defined in this specification. Section 5 details the DDF structure. Now, if you like this course, please subscribe. It would help me very much. Let's move on. Point 2, overview. 2.1, purpose. This document provides requirements for the RAID configuration disk data format, DDF, structure stored on physical disks attached to RAID controllers. Configuration on disk, COD, and metadata are also commonly used terms for the same type of data structure. This DDF structure allows storing RAID configuration information on physical disks by different vendors, implementations in a common format. So, the user data on physical disks is accessible independent on the RAID of the RAID controller being used. Controllers are not required to store this information in the same format in the internal memory. In the terminology of this SNIA shared storage model, http://www.snia.org Tech Activities. The technical scope of the DDF is limited to the interface between the block, aggregation, implementation, and storage devices. The DDF is stored as a data structure on the storage devices. See Figure 1. 2.2 Design considerations. Location, locality, size, and contents are major considerations for the DDF structure. Details on the contents and format of the DDF structure can be found in Section 5. 2.2.1 Location. The anchor header, see Section 5.5 for the DDF structure, must be stored at the last logical block returned by either the ATA identify device or SCSI read capacity commands, depending on the type of physical disk. The DDF structure should be stored at the end of the physical disk next to the anchor header. Storing the DDF structure at the end of the physical disk allows the possibility of converting a single non-RAID physical disk to a RAID 1 configuration without shifting user data. Similarly, data on a member of a RAID 1 configuration with the DDF structure at the end can also be accessed using a non-RAID controller. 2.2.2 Locality. Locality is defined as the scope of the DDF structure. One approach is to store configuration information about all RAID groups attached to a controller on every physical disk connected to the controller. The second approach is to store configuration information of a RAID group or virtual disk only on the physical disks belonging to the participating in a RAID group. In other words, does the DDF structure on the other one RAID group have information about the other RAID groups attached to the same controller? This plays a role when the user wants to move a RAID group from one controller to another while keeping the RAID group intact and without causing ghost images on either controller. If the DDF structure on one RAID group contains no information about the other RAID groups, and if an entire RAID group disappears due to power or cabling problems, the user should be notified about the missing RAID group. Configuration information about all RAID groups may be stored on NVRAM on the controller and provide a notification for the user. However, in case of a failed replacement or replacement controller, the information on the RAID groups is not available. The middle ground chosen for the DDF structure is to store the complete configuration information of a RAID group on each physical disk participating in the RAID group and to store a minimal amount of information about the RAID groups and physical disks attached to the controller. This allows a controller to provide notification to the user about missing RAID groups or physical disks when the controller does not have complete information about the configuration. 2.2.3 DDF structure size. A large DDF structure size provides room for expansion in the future and still uses a negligible amount of storage. It is tempting to use a fixed large DDF structure size. However, low-end solutions may not have the memory space to process large tables. The DDF structure size is not fixed and depends on solution needs. This is done by using flexible structures where size is a function of the number of physical and virtual disks. A fixed space should be reserved on physical disks for the DDF structure to accommodate the largest DDF structure size for migration of configurations between different types and classes of solutions. Details on DDF structure size can be found in Section 5. 2.2.4 DDF structure content. The DDF structure contains information about partitioning, the RAID level, and caching parameters for each virtual disk defined. RAID group state the physical disk location information, and controller settings are, among other information, included in the DDF structure. The DDF structure contents are defined in detail in Section 5. DDF structure redundancy. DDF structure redundancy allows recovery after configuration structure corruption or loss. Support for redundancy increases solution complexity and is considered optional. Point 3. Definitions. Whenever possible, this specification uses the definitions for storage terminology provided by SNIAs, a dictionary of storage networking terminology. The dictionary can be found at www.snia.org, Education Dictionary. This section defines terms that do not have entries in this SNIA dictionary. It also defines terms that use definitions that differ from the definition listed in this SNIA dictionary. 3.1 RAID terms. 3.1.1 Virtual Disk VD. A virtual disk is the object presented to the host level for user data storage. At least one physical disk is associated with the VD. 3.1.2 Basic Virtual Disk BVD. A basic virtual disk is a VD configured using only non-hybrid RAID levels like RAID 0, RAID 5, or RAID 5E. Its elements are physical disks. 3.1.3 Secondary Virtual Disk SVD. A secondary virtual disk is a VD configured using hybrid RAID levels like RAID 10 or RAID 50. Its elements are BVDs. 3.1.4 Disk grouping. A number of physical disks can be combined into a disk group. The primary characteristics of a disk group is that all VDs created on the physical disk cannot extend to other physical disks that are not part of the group. Disk grouping, when enforced, ensures that the contiguous address space of a VD does not extend beyond the disk group. 3.1.5 Foreign configuration. A configuration moved from one controller to another controller is considered a foreign configuration on the new controller unless the new controller imports the configuration. Whenever a foreign configuration is detected by a controller, the foreign flag may be set in the DDF header on the physical disks in the foreign configuration. Details of the foreign flag are found in section 5.5. 3.1.6 Legacy of pass-through disk. Legacy pass-through physical disks are attached to a RAID controller and operate as if they were attached to a non-RAID controller. No DDF structure is stored on these physical disks. This feature is primarily targeted for users moving physical disks containing data from non-RAID controllers to RAID controllers. Point 4. RAID levels and RAID level qualifiers is next. If you like these videos, these lectures I'm reading, please subscribe so I can upload more and more videos for you to learn, for you to study, for you to pass your exam. So please put in the comments what you like me to read, and I will read it for you so we can learn together. But please subscribe. Thank you.